Hey guys, today I'm going to be playing Flaaffy Toolbox. Flaaffy Box really has an answer for just about every matchup. We have Vikavolt Paralyzing Bolt to deal with Lost Zone Box. We have Raichu's Damage Ceiling just to one-shot those Duraludons and Goodras. And we also have Zekrom, which is a great attacker with Lugia. And we even have a very cool trick that we can use with our Zekrom. We can hit a Lugia for 260 damage. Most of the time, we're not playing any sort of switching cards or very few. So then we can come back with a Medicham and knock out that Lugia with Yoga Loop and then take an extra turn. I feel like this guy's matchup spread is actually very underrated right now. Like on paper, we should be beating Lost Box, Lugia, RC Duraludon, Goodra, Mew. So I think the biggest problem for the deck is probably itself. It can be a bit inconsistent sometimes. We're playing 11 draw supporters to hopefully compensate for that. Playing a ton of ball search cards, just really trying to set up quickly. I was very impressed with how this deck worked. There were some hiccups along the way, but definitely was a very fun one. So I had 3 nice battles. I was really able to show off the deck pretty well, so sit back, relax, enjoy the battle. Alright, get into our first game here. We unfortunately did lose the coin flip, which we definitely want to be going first because we are an evolving deck, but I'm not super terribly bothered because we are a single prize deck somewhat, so we don't usually fall too far behind. We're against Mew VMAX this game. I opted to open the Mareep instead of the Zekrom because I want to have the Zekrom on the bench to paralyze. Not that that'll be super useful in this matchup particularly. So they're off to quite a strong start with Battle VIP Pass, Attachment, and a Forest Seal Stone. So we're going to look to Drapion for 3 prizes, and then use Raichu for our final 3. So we need to set up a strong backbone of Mareeps and Flaaffys. So we'll find, we did prize a Flaaffy and a Mareep, which is a bit unfortunate. Definitely could look to add a Hisuian Heavy Ball to this deck because we have a lot of thin attackers. So not the greatest hand. I was hoping, I don't really want to lose a Mareep. So I'm going to Radiant Greninja, try to dig a little deeper. Hand's not super duper strong. So I'm going to conceal cards. I guess I'll just bench the Raichu, attach, retreat into the Frog, and pass. I don't really want to keep him Mareep in the active spot because I want to be able to go for a big Raichu play later. I don't want to give them the Raichu, obviously, because that's 2 easy prizes. So I'm going to give them Radiant Greninja. Hopefully Serena can find me Drapion the next turn. And hopefully they can not gust down my Raichu, because that'd be really bad. So then my opponent is just taking a little bit here. As long as they can't gust down my Raichu and the Serena finds Drapion, I feel like we're in a pretty solid spot. They have a quick ball at a Lost City. Lost City can be quite annoying for us because we play some pretty thin lines of attackers, like I said earlier, so definitely can be sort of disruptive. Oh, dang it, they have boss's orders. So they just need a damage modifier and a Mew VMAX, and they can guarantee one of those with the Forest Seal Stone. So not looking bright for our poor Raichu V. There's an Ultra Ball, so they're going to be able to take this knockout on the Raichu. Darn, that's... Oh, they're grabbing an Oricorio. Okay, we're not dead yet. Okay, just another Fusion Strike system, so maybe this Raichu will still live. Nope. Wishful thinking, I guess. So they go into the Mew VMAX. There's a big Parasol, so no Choice Belt. And they have a Power Tablet too, so darn it. Raichu will be going down. There is a Fusion Strike system. Darn it. So, yeah, they're going to Techno Blast for the knockout. So it'd be really nice if this Serena could find that Quick Ball or the Drapion or just some sort of out to find it. Okay, Research is a much better card. We'll play Research over. That's no Drapion just yet, so I'm going to Level Ball, grab a Flaaffy and thin it out of the deck. I also Energy Search for Lightning Energy to thin that out to give myself the best odds of drawing a Drapion. I have 3 actual outs, 2 Quick Balls and 1 Drapion V, so not super probable. Darn, so we did miss this turn, so I'm going to grab another, I'll grab the other Flaaffy, and luckily we don't have any 2 prizes on the board, so we still are definitely in this game. I'll Dynamotor twice to this Zapdos. I don't want to Dynamotor to the Radiant Greninja, because that gives that card a lot more value that my opponent could potentially gust it up. I don't want to Dynamotor to this Flaaffy, because I don't want to give it too much value. So I'm just going to load up the Zapdos. If that Zapdos does go down, then so be it. But I'm really most afraid of an Echoing Horn boss, because if they can pull that off, take 2 more prizes, then the game's pretty much over. I can't use Drapion to close out this game, because I've already taken 4 prizes. So there's a Cramomatic. They haven't spent their Forest Seal Stone yet, so it's definitely possible. And oh, they hit head on the cram. There's a switch to reset that Mew. They retreat. So, oh, there's a boss's orders. Okay, just the Flaaffy. I can live with that. As long as they were not gusting up the Radiant Greninja, because our hand is very bad. They will Ultra Ball out that Judge. Legendary Mew VMAX. Man, if they like the Psychic Leap play, that'd be so bad. Because they could like Psychic Leap back into Oricorio, then we wouldn't have 3 prizes to take. I mean, that presents a different kind of risk. I think probably dropping that Oricorio like wasn't necessarily the best play by my opponent. Like that was probably better suited as a third Mew, because most likely to him, I'm just playing ways to two-shot him like paralysis and things like that. So I don't. And also, you can like sort of get around Drapion with. Get around the Drapion if you're like Psychic Leaping and keeping it, VMAX out of play. We found the Quick Ball, and I make a crucial mistake here. I Quick Ball out the Stormy Mountains, which I should have Quick Balled out the boss's orders, because now I don't have an out to find Raichu on the next turn. So boss orders is not likely going to matter, and I know I would still need to have an energy card. I'm not totally at the Raichu play just yet, but I started like if I bought my stadium, which is fairly likely. I'm definitely not increasing my odds of finding what I need to win. Luckily, we drew a Flaaffy out of the prizes there. So if I had not discarded the Stormy Mountains, we'd have everything in hand to take this knockout and win the game. But I foolishly discarded that Stormy Mountains, so hopefully we do not get punished by that. Yeah, they counter Stadium. That's to be definitely expected. Yeah, so pretty bad. I can't believe I did that. There's that tablet. Cramomatic. Okay, Roxanne would also be pretty rough for us. So, man, if they had Roxanne Path, I think that'd be worse than Velocity for us, because we couldn't conceal cards. Just a Judge, fortunately. I wonder why they did not Sky Seal Stone for a Roxanne. Sort of interesting. So they're just going to take this knockout, and they judge me into a complete insane hand. So I just need to have a Flaaffy to win this game, a Flaaffy or a Air Balloon. Level Ball wins us the game. Wow, that Judge really just saved us, because our hand was looking kind of bad after I foolishly discarded the Stormy Mountains, but they judge us right into the game. So I definitely think they should have attempted to go for the Roxanne instead, because I mean, of course, 2 cards is better than 4. I don't think, like, what are the odds that they're going to need that for a Seal Stone later on? Their deck was fairly low anyway, that they'd likely be able to find whatever they'd be digging for in the first place. I think my opponent could play that a little more optimally, but we take it. So that was a nice game. Against Mew, gotta show off our game plan of Drapion into Raichu. This hand is horrible. No, I guess we're opening Zekrom, because I don't want to put my Mareep in jeopardy. So, yikes. I'm not super thrilled about this hand. Yeah. Okay, we're in this Goodra, which I shouldn't be too bad on matchup, because we have Raichu that can reach into that Goodra. Even Paralysis can be a bit of a factor if it's been switching cards early to get to that Mirage Gate. Another Lightning Energy off the top is nothing. So, I'll just pass. I benched the Manaphy because I do want to have it on the board in case of a Radiant Greninja play. Not that that's very likely this turn, but also if they play an Escape Rope, I'd rather put a Manaphy than I would a Mareep. So they're going to capture energy, likely going to find a Radiant Greninja so they can start drawing cards. And yes, it does. It certainly appears to me that they're not off to a 2 Stellar start themselves. So just to conceal cards. And just a pass. So yeah, we're both sort of breaking out here to start things off. I'll Speed Lightning Energy. I will then bench my Radiant Greninja and conceal cards. I drew a Research, which is definitely a nice find. I'm going to net the Radiant Greninja and conceal cards again. So hopefully we can get some more stuff going. Stormy Mountains is an excellent find. So I think because of my current circumstances and my opponent dead drawing, I'm going to try to buy some time by gusting up that Goodra V-Star. Like I could research and dig deeper into the deck. But considering how poorly my opponent is going, that I think that this play might... I can still research next turn, and I might be able to get a few more turns out of the Zekrom. Unfortunately, they have the rope right off the bat, so this is bad because I want all 4 of my bench Pokemon. I think Radiant Greninja is probably the worst card here. Because my hands, I already have draw power for next turn. My opponent is sad for some reason. Because I need to keep Manaphy down, because otherwise Radiant Greninja can just get too much value for my opponent. And I'm sort of already had a couple lightnings down. Also, it means that they can't use Cramorant to take the knockout. They lost Zone in an Escape Rope. So that's interesting, because that's definitely a decent card that they might want to keep around. Temple of Sinnoh does sort of, they don't have anything still. So we found a Flaaffy. I will attach a Speed Lightning to the active and then a Research, I think. I definitely should attach to the active, so I have guaranteed way to move into the Zekrom. We found another Flaaffy, and then we can just take out this Comfey with a Wild Shock. I don't think there's a whole lot else I want to do. I could go for a Vikavolt and item lock them, but I just think using Wild Shock's pretty good here. Like, they might have an energy in hand that they could just rolling iron into us, and then we won't have a bench slot for that Vikavolt. I also want to make sure I have plenty of Mareeps on the board so I can really pull off that Raichu play. I am jeopardizing a lot of my energies by putting this Zekrom into the active spot, so there's definitely something to be said about using Vikavolt instead. I'm waiting for a little more of a speedy approach to things. Like, if I didn't have energy in hand, like if I knew that for certain, I would definitely Paralyzing Bolts. But without knowing that, I'm just going to. I guess even if they did have energy in hand, they couldn't have retreated and rolling iron in the same turn. So, and that would have also bought me time to keep building up my board for a Raichu, like just completely gas out my board with a ton of energies. So now that I think about it, the Vikavolt play was probably correct there. That's why it's kind of cool to go back and watch these battles, because you see things in sort of a different light, knowing that, oh hey, I should have done this instead. We unfortunately are going to be short of energies. Now that our Zekrom got knocked out, because even though we took the 1 prize on the Comfey, we can get at max 5 energies into play. I promoted the wrong guy. If I would have promoted the other Flaaffy, I could take a knockout on that benched Goodra. But instead, we're not. I've kind of scuffed this game a little bit. I'll attach the Sky Sealstone, or Forest Sealstone, excuse me. My opponent's not really popping off, so I'm not going to play this Marnie. I'll quick ball out this Zekrom. I'll thin out the Medicham. I don't think there's really much value to that card in this matchup. I really want to keep everyone else around just in case. I could net and reset the Flaaffy. I probably should have done that, but we just research. I did find a level ball to set up another Flaaffy. So this, I don't want to just like attack with the Raichu, because then I'm going to get Moisture Starred, and all my damage and energies will be wasted. So I'm kind of taking a gamble that my opponent does not have boss's orders. So if they have a boss, we're probably going to be losing this game. There's some Flumidion, so dang it. Not, so that's probably going to be GG if they choose to boss up my Raichu. No, they just go for a Colress. Alright, we take that. I guess their thought process is they wanted to set up another attacker instead of taking that knockout. Maybe afraid that I could respond back with another Raichu, and then they would not have a very good answer. Or maybe their hand's just dead. They want to sort of build it up before they go all aggressive. I definitely think I would have gone for boss orders if I was in their position, because not only could I find prizes that could make my hand a bit more powerful, but also it would just be such a hard task for me to find another Raichu. I would take the Forest Sealstone out of play, so it would just make my life a lot more difficult. So I definitely think my opponent should have done that, but obviously. I think their line is still sort of valid, but they didn't, like, if they were able to flower selecting a couple times, like build up to that Mirage Gate, it definitely might have been better for them. But in this case, they didn't really get too much off of that Colress, or at least too much immediate use, and then I can just Marnie them back, and they really didn't get too much value out of that play, because they just took a Manaphy out of play, which didn't really do a whole lot, because I had Rod and could just get it right back down. And I guess taking the Manaphy out of play in their position is also pretty appealing, because they can then start using Greninja to take multiple knockouts. So I don't think that the line of play that they chose was still a valid line. I just think unfortunately for them, I had the hand to perfectly deal with it. I'm sort of in a weird spot because I want to make sure I get value out of this for a Seal Stone, but I don't really know what to grab, because I can grab an Energy and attach it to the active, but I could just get knocked out. I could get Air Balloon for next turn, but also there's like a weird thing where if I could grab Energy and attach it, but then if I don't get knocked out and I don't attach that Energy, then I'm just stuck. So I'm going to pocket the Air Balloon for the next turn. I maybe could have attached it, because now if they Roxanne me, I will not be able to keep that Air Balloon. So I definitely should have put that into play and used my Quick Ball to thin out some more cards. But that's alright. We're just going to take this knockout. It's still going to be pretty hard for my opponent to respond back with a Rolling Iron. We did find another Energy. Always I couldn't have gone for the Vikavolt, but anyway, because he was Bryce. So disregard everything I said earlier about Vikavolt. So there is a Comfey, Flower Selecting, a Roxanne. If they get somehow Roxanne and Rolling Iron, that'd be about worst case scenario. Because it'd be pretty hard for us, pretty much impossible for us to respond. They only have 5 in the Lost Zone though, so they would need to have a nice hand to be able to pull that off. There's a Conceal Cards. So they would need like another Comfey, some Nets, and then of course Roxanne. But they still have a very large deck for being this late in the game, having 27 cards left. Definitely would like to be a lot lower as a Goodra player. There's just a net to reset the Radiant Greninja, so yeah, they're just not having a very solid game. Just their deck is not wanting to cooperate too well. But I'm still stuck, so they definitely have not lost this game just yet. It's sort of been an awkward game for both of us. They're going to boss Sorters and just like stall my Flaaffy, which is like so good for us, because then we can Dynamo her onto the Raichu. So that was definitely helped me a lot more than it hurt me. So yeah, that was a gift from my opponent. Now I can just Gust and KO their Raichu V star on the bench. This is pretty much a GG now. Because yeah, that 30 that he did earlier with Zekrom is like actually coming back to matter, because I hit 240 with this Dynamic Spark. Quick Ball, thin out a Mareep, just in case they Marnie or Roxanne. 2 less bad cards to draw. Dynamic Spark for the knockout. It's kind of hilarious how that 30 from the Serena play ended up actually mattering in a very relevant way. So we're going to take this knockout with Raichu, 2 more prizes, and there's little my opponent can do now. I guess I don't have a great way to reload this Raichu, so like if they could go for a Cramorant and then spit into me, and then like be able to follow up with a Goodra on the next turn, like with a Roxanne, then I guess maybe they'd be cooking a little bit. But still, their deck is just so big for as late as it is in the game. It's going to be hard to string together too big a combo, just because they have so many unknown cards. So they're going to net and just bring up Luminium, but they're going to just Flower Selecting again. So this has just been a really rough game for my opponent. Nothing's really gone their way, and then they just concede. So into our final game, we lost the coin flip. That's not good, but hopefully we'll still be able to manage. Would have been a great hand had we not mulligan. Like, replace one of those researchers with Radiant Greninja, Flaff, or Mareep, and we'd be really talking, but unfortunately, we mulliganed, so. And this is awful. I guess we start Raichu, because Fast Charge is kind of good. We need a top deck in a major way. Stoutland means this is Lugia, which should be a good matchup. There's an Incense for an Archeops right off the bat. We did mulligan a couple times, so their hand should be pretty nice, and looking like it is. They're on a Quick Ball and Archeops, and grab a Lugia V. Bench that Lugia, attach the Capture Energy, and I can find a Oranguru, can find Dunsparce, can find Manaphy. Another Lugia, just overall pretty strong setup, and a Dunsparce, so pretty rough setup for us. Quick Ball would be a lot nicer if you're playing something like Crobat and Luminion. I definitely debated on whether I wanted to play those cards or not, but the bench space in this deck is so tight. Like, usually you want 2 to 3 Flaaffys. You're going to want to have like a Zekrom or some sort of attacker on your bench, so maybe you could cut that Zapdos for a Crobat, but just the bench space is really tight. Like, I never want to have to bench a Crobat. So I did bench the Luxray, which I don't know if that was correct. I don't think it probably was, because there's like not really a reason to, because I don't really want to have that 2 pressure on my board, and I'm not really gonna need to load it up. And it's only gonna matter if it gets Marnied away. I don't think I really even care if it gets Marnied away, and it might just come back to bite me later on, having a 2-prizer on the board. So they're setting up nicely. They'll probably just Wild Tackle to take out my Raichu, and we need a top deck really badly. Otherwise, this game is just gonna get out of hand. So yeah, all the Primal Turbos in the world. Hopefully, the good news is Paralysis can definitely get us buy us some time, because Lugia doesn't usually play very many switching cards, so Paralysis is usually an effective way to like sort of stall them out. And we will promote a Mareep, and oh my goodness, nothing off the top. So I don't really know what we do. We can balloon back into the other. I'll take this route. I don't know how. Okay, there's Gust. Oh, I'm talking about the double dip fangs. Oh my goodness, I forgot about the double turbo. Okay, and we top like Serena. All right, we are in this game still. I don't know why. I should have hit my discard pile there. My opponent forgot what double turbo, so that was awesome. We just need to be able to paralyze this Stoutland. I think we're gonna be able to. So we don't have any energies down yet. So we need to be able to find one lightning energy off one of these 2 concealed cards. Nothing yet. Another situation where Crobat would be very, very nice. I'm gonna quick ball out that Mareep, I guess. Now looking back, I regret playing this quick ball because I don't really have anything I wanted to discard. I need to keep the Manaphy around because Raikou is definitely a big threat. And I mean, I guess I thin out the deck, so I don't think it mattered too much. And we found an energy, so we can go for that Paralysis. I can grab a Zekrom too and put it on the board. Ooh, I think is Wild Shock better here? I think it is. Well, so if I use the Zekrom, I'm putting a 1 prize knocking spot that can get double dipped. So I think I'm just going to do the Luxray. This is actually not. I think I should have gone Zekrom, because I'm going to discard 2 energies, and I don't actually have an attack next turn. At least the Zekrom would guarantee to have back-to-back attacks. Oh wow, this game I've kind of really scuffed up. There's an Incense. That's just going to thin out the deck, grabbing their Archeops or a Lugia that they won't really need. Definitely could add an Astral Radiance Regieleki, or even an Evolving Skies Regieleki if you want to try to snipe those Dunsparces. Oh, there's a Lumineon. Hopefully they don't play Bird Keeper. Oh man, please no Bird Keeper. That's an Irida? Ooh, are they playing Rope? That'd be if I was playing Ian Rob. Oh, they're playing a Rope. That's very frustrating. So and a Vacuum to get rid of my Air Balloon. This is just, my opponent's pulling all the stops here. Do we go into, I don't want to go into Manaphy because it just gets double dipped. I think we go into the Zekrom. Ugh, this is just rough. Yeah, this is just bad. I think I probably should have attacked with the Wild Spark last turn, just to be real honest, and then maybe I go back into the Manaphy off the Rope. It still could get double dipped though, so I don't really know what the correct way to go about things. Maybe I would have sacked a Flaaffy there instead. Promote the Flaaffy. We topped like a Research, which is wonderful, but no switching cards. If I would have promoted the Manaphy, I could move this in Paralyze again, but because I could attach Retreat, and instead of this awkward 2 Retreat Pokemon in the active spot, come on. Okay, Speed Energy, come on. No, this is tragic. So we're gonna Dynamotor onto the Luxray, I guess, or onto Zekrom. I'm sorry. We can set up both attackers. And we'll just pass on over. This, if they can just gust up Luxray, the game's pretty much over. They're done 2 bosses orders, so maybe they don't have like a 1 of Serena, or they're like 3rd boss or whatever other. Usually you just play 3 to 4 gusting cards. There's a Primal Turbo. Even they double dip Fangs. They can't double dip this Flaaffy because it's a stage 1, which I guess is some sort of saving grace. But they're loading up an Archeops, so I guess they're gonna attack with Archeops and take the knockout. Oh, we could paralyze this Archeops and then Yoka Loop it. That could be kind of funny. Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good play. We could just gust up Lugia and paralyze it too. Oh, Marnie, man, my hand was stacked. And now, since I didn't load up either one of my attackers fully, I don't even, okay, I drew a balloon. I was like so worried I wouldn't be able to attack next turn again. We drew a Serena, so I can still gust and paralyze if I want to. Or I can just paralyze the active. Drawing it into Medicham is pretty solid. So we will load up that Zekrom, retreat, and then I will attach that Seal Stone, and I'm going to gust up that Lugia. I think I probably should have just gone for this, just paralyze that Archeops, because I can still just Yoga Loop that next turn, and then just paralyze whatever comes up after that. Or have a Serena to follow up. They play second rope, though. Oh, man, we set up too slowly for them to be playing double rope. Like, normally we could recover from this if we didn't just bleed 3 prizes setting up. But, yeah, this is just all kinds of bad. And this is another play that really sucks. If I would have used Wild Shock to paralyze the Stoutland instead of the Luxray, I could Yoga Loop and KO the Stoutland. But, yeah, everything's sort of gone wrong. Everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong this game. So, I guess we just force Seal for a boss's orders. And we gust the Lugia and try again. Not really a great line, but we're going to try it. So we're going to just get paralyzed, watch them have third rope, and I will cry. I hope they do not have third rope. They just pass. So we top like research. I think we just want a Marnie. I can thin out the deck with this, thin out this Vikavolt out, or the Raichu still going. And I will Marnie, because their hand is rather large. And we found the net, so we can reset all the damage off the Zekrom and still use Medicham this turn, so we might not be completely done yet. So there is a Dynamotor, attach, then we'll Yoga Leap for the knockout, take 2 prizes, and also get to take an extra turn. So can we complete the 6 prize comeback? That'd be very insane. If I use the different attacker against the Stoutland, things would be looking a lot better. Too bad I don't have a boss, because I could Fang Snipe the Stoutland and discard a trainer from their hand and maybe make it so they couldn't win the game. And this is where I think I screw up. Like, if I hit boss orders, this is objectively my best play. What I think I should have done is paralyzing Bolt, the active, and just made them basically have to have their... I guess they have powerfuls left. I think I played it correctly. I'm just like second guessing myself because so I guess we just Fang Snipe and pray. Like I don't really know what else we can do. They have so many energies left. And Fang Snipe's math. Like if I had Zapdos, Fang Snipe would be some pretty solid math, but we don't. So I think we just Fang Snipe for 30. We can discard a Marnie, but they have Ultra for Radiant Charizard, so I know we want to take 4 prizes, so maybe they just won't have enough energies to get over the line. They're 5 in play and like 6 down. So there's an Archeops grabbed off an Incense. They can Ultra Ball, grab that Radiant Charizard. And yeah, I think or even Yveltal too would be pretty solid. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in play, so 10. They lucky have 5 or 6 left. More than enough to be able to close the game with Radiant Charizard. So we sort of were able to piece some things together at the end and like sort of like show you like what the blueprint is in this matchup, but I just set up too slowly. I think the perfect example of how this deck is powerful. It has the tools in its kit to be just about anything, but it's sort of its own worst enemy. So they got that Radiant Charizard, and yeah, there's not much we can do unless they prize 5 energies, and all of the remaining 5 energies are prized, which we know that cannot be the case. I wonder what they're doing now, because they're not benching the Charizard and beating me, so I don't really know what's going on. There's a Radiant Charizard on the bench. They will Primal Turbo, so they just put okay, they don't put a double Turbo on, just double Aurora, and a pass. This is a very weird decision by my opponent. With how the boss orders I maybe could have like punished by paralyzing the Radiant Charizard, but also couldn't they just load up the Stoutland and use Wild Tackle if they had more powerfuls? I don't really know why my opponent just did there, honestly. Yeah, they have just one more powerful left. They can just win with Wild Tackle. So I don't really know what's happening over there. So maybe my opponent does not play very many energies. Like they're playing a lot less than a standard Lugia build, and maybe we can like punish them by having this Dunsparce be trapped. I don't know. I'm trying to think of any small way we could potentially pull this game back. I'm going to retreat and Yoko Loop, put 20 on that Stoutland. And maybe if they don't have enough energies here, we can win the game. Like, this is where if we went for the Wild Shock, we could win the game next turn, because we'd have 10 more damage on that Stoutland. But unfortunately, we did not. We went for the Luxray instead, very foolishly. They have the retreat option. We'll have to win the game with this Radiant Charizard. So I played far from flawlessly in these games, but I still think I showed off how powerful this deck can be if it draws well, and B, the player plays well. But also I wanted to ask what you guys thought of the new setup. I'm using the Pokegear image generator instead of Limitless. I think it's a little more aesthetically pleasing. And also, as you've probably noticed if you've watched this far in this video, I did try recording it in 4K. It took a lot longer for me to record and upload and all that fun stuff. But if you enjoyed the quality boost, let me know. Or if there's any other more technical aspect of my channel that you'd like me to improve, whether it be editing, the voicing over, anything like that you don't like, you want to see improve, I am an open book. Just feel free to go loose in the comment section. I don't care. And what do you think of this deck? I personally really like this deck. I think it has a lot of potential. Definitely very underrated matchup spread, but it sort of gets in its own way sometimes. So if there's any other decks you'd like to see, suggestions always welcome. ptcgo import in the description as always, and this has been Alloutblitzle. I'll catch you in the next one.